Bedtime Stories with the Story Club for Kids. Hello, children. It's time to wind up for the day and settle down for the night. I hope all of you have brushed your teeth and are ready for bed. Now, let's begin our first bedtime story for tonight. This story is called Birbal's Stew, or more fondly in Hindi we call it Birbal ki khichdi. On a cold winter day, Akbar and Birbal were taking a walk along the lake. A thought came to Birbal that a man would do anything for money. He expressed his feelings to Akbar. Akbar then put his finger into the lake and immediately removed it because the water was very cold. Akbar said, "I don't think a man would spend an entire night in the cold water of this lake for money." Birbal replied, "I am sure I can find such a person." Akbar then challenged Birbal into finding such a person and said that he would reward the person with 1,000 gold coins. Birbal searched far and wide until he found a poor man who was ready to accept the challenge. The poor man entered the lake and Akbar had guards posted near him to make sure that he really did as promised. In the morning, the poor man was taken to court for the reward. On being asked by the king how he could stand in freezing water, the man replied, "My lord, I kept looking at a lamp that was burning at a distance and spent my entire night looking at it." On learning this, Akbar said, "This man is not worthy of the reward, as he could manage to stand in the lake because he was getting warmth from the lamp." The poor man felt sad and heartbroken. He reached out to Birbal for help. Birbal did not go to the court the next day. Akbar visited to find the reason. To his amusement, the king found Birbal sitting beside the fire with a pot hanging high above it. On being asked, Birbal said, "I am cooking stew, my lord." Akbar started laughing and said that was impossible. Birbal said, "It is possible, my king. If a poor man can stay warm by simply looking at the lamp burning at a distance, I can cook this stew the same way." The king understood his mistake and gave the poor man his reward. The end. And now let us listen to our next story. This story is called The Magic Porridge Pot. There was a little girl named Melody. She lived with her mother. They had no money and nothing to eat too. One day, Melody went into the forest in search of some food. There, she met a fairy who gave her a magic pot. When the fairy said, "Cook, little pot, cook," the magic pot started cooking sweet porridge. And when she said, "Stop, pot, stop," it ceased to cook. Melody was amazed to see the magic pot. She took the magic pot home to her mother. Melody and her mother ate sweet porridge as often as they wanted. Once Melody had gone out, her mother said, "Cook, little pot, cook." The magic pot started cooking delicious porridge, and she ate till she was full. She wanted the magic pot to stop cooking, but realized that she did not know the correct words to stop the magic pot. So it went on cooking. The porridge rose over the edge of the magic pot, onto the table, over the floor, and it cooked on until the kitchen and the whole house was full of porridge. It then poured out from the doors and windows, bubbling and forming a great wave. The porridge rolled through the village as if it wanted to satisfy the hunger of the whole world. The villagers were confused and worried as no one in the village knew how to stop it. At last, Melody took a wooden plank and rode towards her house. When Melody reached outside the house, she shouted, "Stop, pot, stop!" And that is just what the pot did. The pot stopped cooking. Melody was glad to see the villagers enjoying the creamy, sweet porridge. The whole village ate the porridge to their heart's content. The end. And now, let us listen to our next story. This story is called The Purple Jar. Once upon a time, in the busy city of London, there was a little girl named Rosamond. She loved all the pretty things and never cared about her rash decisions. One day, while she was out shopping with her mother, Rosamond marveled at all the pretty things being sold in the shops and told her mother that she wanted to buy them. While they were walking through the streets, she stared at all the long ribbons, bright colorful hats, and the beautiful flowers displayed in the shop. Rosamond asked her mother to buy all of them. Her mother asked Rosamond, "What would you do with all of them?" Rosamond replied, "I am sure we would find a use for it." Her mother refused to buy and moved ahead to buy groceries. Rosamond was very upset and grumpily followed her mother to the chemist. There she saw many bottles of different shapes, sizes, and glistening colors. But her eyes fell on a single purple jar. She was so fascinated with the jar that she asked her mother to buy it. Rosamond wanted to keep flowers in the purple jar as it was looking very pretty. But her mother refused to buy the jar as they already had many flower vases and they left the chemist. As they walked, Rosamond's mind was still on the purple jar and she asked her mother, "I don't think you have any money. That is the reason you are not buying any pretty things for me." To which her mother replied, "Oh, sweetheart, I do have money, but I don't think we should buy all the pretty things that are not required. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any money left with us." While walking, Rosamond felt something hurting her foot. When she took off her shoe, there was a huge hole in her shoe. The two of them went to the cobbler to buy a new pair of shoes for Rosamond. She asked her mother to buy both, a pair of new shoes and the purple jar. Her mother denied to buy both the things and asked her to choose any one. So Rosamond chose to buy the purple jar as it was very pretty and promised her mother that she wouldn't buy a new pair of shoes until next month. Then they went to the chemist and bought the purple jar. When they reached home, Rosamond took some flowers to put in the jar. As she opened the jar, a horrible stench came out. So she just poured the liquid in the sink. When she poured it out, she realized that the liquid was purple in color and the jar was just an ordinary glass jar. Rosamond was heartbroken when she saw that the jar was not attractive. Her mother said, "If you would have checked it more carefully and then chose to buy, you could have bought a new pair of shoes instead." Rosamond asked her mother to return the jar and buy new shoes. But her mother denied, as Rosamond had promised no shoes until next month. In the evening, her father surprised them with an invitation of a dance party, which was in the next town. They all were very excited for the party, and when they got ready in the evening, Rosamond realized that her shoe had a hole in it, and hence she could not go to the party. Rosamond realized that if she had been smarter and careful with her choice, she would have been able to go to the party. Next day, it was her friend's birthday, and Rosamond was upset as she couldn't attend the party. So her mother gave her a box. When she opened it, Rosamond was very happy because in it were a new pair of shoes as a reward for realizing and accepting her mistake. Rosamond promised her mother that she would not buy anything that is not required just because it is pretty. The moral of the story is, all that glitters is not gold. The end.